on The Reno Show. I'll show you how to sell your home for more with my top staging and styling tips. Jen from Interiors Addict is sharing this year's most popular outdoor trends. Property analyst John Lindemann is revealing how you can buy the right property in the right street. Rowan is telling us why you should only choose hardwood for your deck. And I'm hanging out with Bristol to show you how you can use rinse-free sugar soap. Hey guys, it's Naomi Findlay here. So you have completed the renovation. It's done. The dust has settled. The tools have been put away and you've cleaned up all of the dirt. The updated kitchen and the living spaces is looking flash. Great effort for making it this far. But the hard work isn't over yet and it's almost payday. Now, it's time to put this baby on the market and all you need to do is hand the keys after that over to the agent for them to get you some hard-earned profit. But first, you need to think about showcasing the property. So are you going to showcase your hard work as is, or are you going to leave it up to the buyers to work it all out themselves? Are you banking on the fact that they'll just have big imaginations and they'll have great creative flair and they'll know exactly how to utilize all these spaces that you've created for them? Well, feel free to crack open that first beer if you want, but don't make the mistake of leaving the property to sell itself. Yeah, you probably have a good agent by now, and they'll probably be a whiz at marketing the property for you, but what about that personal touch? What about some property styling? Think about it. Think about it in this way, actually. You can either show off the bare space and hope that your target buyers will picture putting in a TV and a couch and a stylish rug, or you can style that space and have them skip to the part where they're actually picturing themselves kicking off their shoes and living in your property. So tell me this, would you rock up to a corporate job interview wearing t-shirt and jeans? Yeah, probably not. Sure, you can wow them in person, sitting in front of them with your skills and experience, but they will always be left with that first impression in their head. They can picture you coming into work in your smart blazer if they've only ever seen you in jeans and a t-shirt, right? So this first impression counts. You never get to recreate the first impression. So how do you create like an irresistible, lasting first impression when you're selling your renovation project? Enter home staging. What on earth is home staging, you're asking? Well, basically, home staging is that first impression you give the potential buyer. It's a super important preparation stage, that part where you're putting your house up for sale. It's about giving the buyers a taste of what it'd be like to live in your property using furnishings. A few decades ago in Australia, no one even worried about staging their home before they put it on the market. It was enough just to revamp the kitchen, give it a good polish and viola. The property was sufficiently prepared to take your hands off it. These days, it's not enough just to stick up a for sale sign out the front and expect the real estate agent to do the rest. In the competitive modern market, home staging can set your home apart from the rest. And it can stand out from the rest of the pack, which is exactly what you're after. Now, not to bore you with statistics, but you know that a staged property will give you between 10 and 15% more profit than a non-staged property. On average, for every $1 that people invest in staging their home, they get $20 back. These numbers talk for themselves. I can already hear the questions in your head, but isn't home staging going to cost me an arm and a leg, Naomi? Isn't that the sort of stuff reserved for like high-end luxury market out there, really? And the answer to both of those is absolutely not. Now, it is true that styling up your property will cost you some money, but skimping on styling and presenting a bare bones package could end up costing you in the long term. How, I hear you ask? Well, styled houses aren't just more appealing in real life. They also look way better in print and online, and your buyers are often a visual bunch. The first impression begins way before they've even worked in the door. It begins the moment they start scrolling through the online databases. And you know what's going to happen to an empty home? It'll probably just get scrolled past without anyone batting an eyelid. But the home with that shiny kitchen and that beautifully laid out living area with the couch and the TV and the coffee table and the rug, well, that one will be the one that gets saved and viewed over and over again. Why? Because it sells the dream of come right in and make yourself at home. A well-dressed, sparkling house will attract lots of attention and will always attract a good paycheck for you at the end, as well as a quick one. That's right, home staging will help you sell and sell quickly. And the last thing you want is your property sitting on the market for ages. It's kind of the equivalent of leaving fresh bread out far too long. Once that fresh baked smell goes away, no one is really interested because that bread's turning stale. Not only will the property be an older listing, hence less appealing to buyers, it will also end up costing you. The longer you hold the property, the longer you'll have to pay maintenance costs, the longer you'll have loan repayments, and the longer you'll have council rates. That and the fact that if buyers aren't jumping at your property, it probably means that they're waiting around for a discount. And all of these things will absolutely eat into your profits. Home staging is the perfect time to be making smart styling choices, just as adding natural elements like pops of greenery, natural fibres to connect with your buyers, because it's one of the best ways to achieve that emotional connection. It's hard for buyers to picture themselves living in a place if it's bare. Sure, the kitchen renovation might be amazing, but if the open plan living space is empty, it'll make the place look a little dull. You won't be showing off the renovation to its full potential at all. So, add in some plants, add in a jute rug, add in some timber furniture, and you're already well on your way to connecting with your buyers at that deeper level. And we both know that emotionally invested buyers will mean more profits to you come sale day. So home staging can help create a narrative for your home, as well as highlight the potential and the appeal that it has. It's the perfect finishing touch to your renovations and making them stand out. I must admit I am a true blue Aussie, and there's not much more that I love than an amazing outdoor space. So our outdoor spaces in our country are so becoming part of our everyday life more and more than they ever have. And today we have with us Jen Bishop from Interiors Addict, so welcome Jen, to talk to us about the trends that she's seeing in the position she holds in the industry in outdoor spaces this year, 2018. What have you got for me?
Just thinking it's quite funny you've brought on a POM to talk about outdoor living.
So the Pommy in the room wants to tell us about, but you do.
I've been here a decade. I'm used to my outdoor living now.
I think your Pommy's a bit diluted.
It is.
It is very diluted.
Yeah.
So what are you seeing? Like, you get to see so much coming through Interiors Addict every single day. So those of you who don't know Interiors Addict, it is the country's leading interiors blog. So if you want inspiration, if you want trends, all of it can be found on Interiors Addict. So what are you seeing at the moment?
A few things. So the first thing would be in colours. We're seeing a lot more greys and maybe a bit of colour. So whereas before there's been a lot of timber, a lot of brown.
Yes.
Now I think if you look at what's available in outdoor furniture, you'll see a lot of white with grey cushion, white powder coated metal with grey cushions.
Which is great for durability.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so I think that's one change. We're also looking at, there's a bit of sort of smart technology coming to outside now as well as inside. So things like just some really cool things like electric heaters that may be above your table, that also have lights that you can control from an app on your smartphone.
Love a good app.
There's also, there's sort of outdoor speakers now. So there's a lot of things like that.
So that's, I guess, really crossing that line and fully starting to integrate in a really modern way that indoor-outdoor space.
Yeah, and I think we're increasingly wanting to do with our outdoor what we do with our indoor.
Absolutely.
So another thing that comes in there is the cooking elements, so outdoor kitchens, built-in barbecues, depending on what scale you're at and
Absolutely.
how big.
Yeah.
You know, that might be a built-in barbecue, that might be a fully functioning outdoor kitchen, it might be a pizza oven.
Absolutely.
And talking of fire pits.
Fire pits are still huge, aren't they?
Massive, yeah. And the good thing about them is they can work in a really small yard as well.
Absolutely. You can go anything from a really little chimenea
Yeah.
to, like, I know where we are here filming this is amazing location called The Residence. It's got a huge area bricked up outside for a big cast iron fire pit, which would just be dynamic. So you can scale that, can't you?
Absolutely. And you can have something that's very permanent and you've built it in and have sunken, or it can be as easy as something that you just take out of the box and it's metal and you put it together. And
like a little brazier.
Yeah, and you can, you know, move it around even.
Take it camping.
Yeah.
Nice. So we're seeing integration of smart things.
Yes.
We're seeing cooling off of the tones
Yep.
and the features that we're putting in our outdoor spaces.
Yes.
And fire pits.
Yeah, and I think we're also seeing less of the big lawn and more of using our space for other things, as well as, you know, traditionally you might have had a bigger lawn for the kids. Now we might have a fire pit area, a dining area. And I guess when you have less lawn, you've got to put your green in other ways. And that's where those green walls are still really popular.
So it's like creating, realistically, what you're just describing, it's like creating rooms in your yard.
Exactly.
So instead of just having like a big massive lawn and you just sort of had your deck, now you're actually creating destinations and spaces and rooms in the big blank
canvas. Like an
canvas.
open plan yard.
An open plan yard.
Which
I like it.
You're probably going to use a lot more.
Well, we do live in our outdoor spaces, and one of the biggest things and biggest challenges is to make your outdoor spaces as comfortable and as textured and as layered as we do our indoor spaces, working with our elements naturally. So there's some great things there. There's some great things that people, if they wanted to, I guess, just liven up or just spruce up their space, they can just grab a hold of one of those trends. They could get a little portable, tiny brazier to do some toasted marshmallows on with the kids tonight.
Fire pits are like $200 starting.
And you know what? Sometimes you can get even those little tiny open metal wire ones even cheaper, which is a winner. Maybe that could be a project this weekend.
Maybe. Not for me, but yeah.
But maybe for one of you. Jen's abandoned the fire pit, but we'd love to see your photos of your fire pits and what you get up to in bringing your outdoor spaces onto trend this year. Now, if you're one of these people like me that loves the ability to renovate and transform a property and at the same time create a beautiful, abundant, multiple six-figure income each year doing so, then choosing the right suburb is going to be of great interest to you. But in today's section, I want to take it one step further because we all know that not every street in your suburb is probably right for renovating to create wealth. So here to discuss this with me today is John Lindeman from 7stepstosuccess.com.au. So John, we've identified this suburb, right? And it's amazing to renovate in. But you know, from my on-the-ground research, I'm kind of like, I'm not sure every suburb is right for renovating in. Do you find that often?
That's true, or every street.
Yeah, every street in the suburb. So exactly how do I bed down? Exactly how do I differentiate between a good street and a bad street from the way that you research your data?
Right, well the sorts of things that I look for, Naomi, are variations in the prices of properties in a street.
Okay, in one street.
In one street.
Okay, so tell me some more about that.
So you can buy guides that will give you the range of prices in a street, and it may well be some are very expensive, some are far less expensive, and the problem with those sorts of research reports that you can buy is that what they don't take into account is the fact that one property might be on the top of a hill and have a great view, and the other one might be in a
down
valley.
near the train line.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's what's causing the variation. What you're looking for is a great number of variations in the styles of property. So you've got all different types of property in the one street, because that means you've got greater potential for making profit from the renovation. The second, sorry.
Yep. No, that was great. Keep going.
Okay,
I'm like,
fine.
right, I'm processing and getting questions going. Go for
So you've found a street that's got a large range of types of properties.
Okay.
There's two ways you can do that. You can drive down the various streets.
And check it out.
Check it out.
A unit at one end, a McMansion at the other, some weatherboards in the middle.
That's right.
Okay.
The other way you can do that is go to Google Earth and have a look at Google Street View, because when you do that, you can actually now with Google Street View, you can go down the street. It's like you're driving down the street. It's an amazing tool, and that will show you the different types of houses that are
in that street. So
street.
you don't even need to be local. It could be on the other side of the country, or you could be doing it late at night from your bed in your iPhone rather than having to hit the streets when you're busy doing other things.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So you've found out there's a street, it's got large variation in the types of properties in it. What's next?
Then the last step is to find out if there's a great variation in the types of properties for sale.
Okay.
So you've got to be able to have in that street a property for sale that you can then buy, which is at the lower end of the value of properties in that street, not at the higher end, because what you want to do is value to the most commonly sort of type of property, not from it. So if there's a wide range of properties available for sale in that street, and you can do that again with, say, realestate.com.au or Domain.
Yep.
Online listing sites will tell you.
So if I asked you what are the top 3 things that would rule a street out, what would they be?
They would be no variation in the types of properties.
Okay,
for
no
sale.
variation in the types of properties for sale. What else would completely rule out a street?
I think, well, you'd be looking at things like again, going back to, say, safety aspects.
Yes.
And so on. What is the general appearance of the street? You can do that again with Street View. You can look to see if there are gated communities or things like that going on, abandoned cars in the street, those sorts of things.
Now, is there a third? Is there a third thing that would rule one out? For me, I know, for a third thing for me would be if it was Millionaires Row. If there was a suburb, for example, that would literally, once you hit the beachfront, for example, everything was 4 times the price because they're on the water. So often for me, depending on my renovation strategy and the limit that I'm wanting to renovate to, that might rule out for me as well. So I guess it doesn't only have to be the houses that are kind of at that end or safety issues. It could be that you go, you know what, that one doesn't fit my strategy, that street, because of the calibre of property that's in it, I guess.
Yeah.
My gosh, so not only do we have how to work out whether a street's great for us, we also have 3 things that can help us strike a street off. So there you go. You may have found your suburb and now you have quite a few great tips to work out exactly what streets in those suburbs are right for you. Thanks, John.
Thanks, Naomi. Bye, everyone.
Here we are at the amazing Tinoni Estate cellar door. That's right. Shh. It's all closed up. We have the keys and we are inside, enjoying a lovely Vidella at the Tinoni Estate, who have been kind enough to let us film this series of the Reno Show right here. And today I've been looking around. There's quite a few beautiful decked areas here at this property, and it sparked a bit of a debate between Rowan and I about, look at him, about hardwood versus not hardwood alternatives when we're doing our decks.
Yeah, and you know my thoughts.
Well, he's a chippy. What do you reckon his thoughts
Timber,
are?
all the way.
All the way, not just any timber.
Hardwood.
All the way.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So I could throw up a pile of negatives about that.
Go.
Right, costs more.
Yes.
I have to pre-drill stuff.
Yes.
It is heavier to lug in and out of my ute.
Yes, but weight is a sign of quality.
I don't know if I have anything for that.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Hardwood. I think, personally, and this is just my own opinion, but I think, well, that's what it would be if it's personally, wasn't it?
That's right.
I think nothing beats the look of a timber deck. And
So,
specifically,
what about a non-hardwood? What about like one of the softer woods?
Yeah, I just don't know. In a hard-wearing area like a deck that's exposed normally to the elements, I just think you're going to get much more longevity out of a hardwood deck.
Okay, so what if you're only planning on staying there 1 or 2 years? Would you ever, like I'm wanting to throw a line
valid
out.
question. If you want to renovate for sale and you were trying to make room in your budget for additional things that you could spend inside that would increase the value of your property,
You
then
could maybe see.
I could see leaning towards potentially another covering for your deck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or, see, notice he said another covering. He didn't say non-hardwood.
Well, no, you could go with a pine or something like that, or you could use, you know, composite material if you wanted to. I'm not a big believer.
Do you know what this is like? I don't know if any of you guys have ever watched Happy Days. You know when the Fonz used to have to say sorry?
I thought you were going to say Joni and Richie or whatever his name is.
No, when the Fonz had to say sorry, it's like you saying...
Oh, you won't get that word out of me.
No.
You just won't get that word out of me.
Similar to not hardwood.
No.
Yes, right.
Yes.
So what you are saying though is if it was a point of renovating a property that you're going to stay in maybe 1 or 2 years and maybe on sell or try and leverage value in it, or if you really just didn't have the room in your budget and it was a matter of having no deck and no outside living to using hardwood.
Yeah. Always. If you can fit it into your budget and you can get some form of outside entertaining or living space, then you really should do it, people, if you can. It just so greatly increases the value of your house and the livability of your place as well. So, and let's clarify too that if you've got a deck of any sort, it's always going to require maintenance. Whatever you put down on it, there's no such thing as a maintenance-free deck. So there's ways to decrease the amount of maintenance that you need to do on a deck. But
even a good hardwood needs a lot of love.
It does need a lot of love, and they only have a limited lifespan. It's really important to understand that too. If you're planning on renovating to live, you know, you were just talking about yours,
11 years old,
and it's starting to show some significant signs of wear and tear, and it's starting to require more maintenance than it's pertinent to keep. So in a situation like that, where you're getting very, very high traffic and you've got major exposure to the elements, 11 years is a pretty good run.
It is a pretty good run, really, isn't it?
Right.
And there is that beautiful warmth that you get from a timber. So I know that there are lots of other prefabricated, there are lots of composite materials that we can use instead of our decks. But maybe I'm just old-fashioned. There aren't many things that can be a timber deck.
The look and feel of any natural substance is far greater than any man-made thing, I think.
That's right.
So, yeah.
And so for me, if I wasn't going to do a timber deck, I'd probably prefer to go to another man-made substance, such as like a gorgeous limestone tile on my deck, than go to a truly synthetic product.
That's right. But bear in mind too, if you're thinking about tiling your deck, there's a lot of preparation involved in that as well. You have to sheet it. There's a lot more load-bearing weight on your members of your deck when you go to tiles as well.
And we need a lot less movement.
And we need a lot less movement as well. But just going back to having to replace decking boards, it's a really, really good opportunity, once you get those decking boards up, to treat your subfloor frame again as well.
Oh, good point.
Yeah,
so retreat it.
Retreat it, yes. If you get the opportunity to get your decking boards off to replace them, then by all means... With hardwood. With hardwood. Then by all means, please take that opportunity to retreat the subfloor members as well for whether you want to coat them with a coat of paint just to make them a bit more resistant to the weather elements, or you want to put bitumastic or something like that on them to just stop the water penetration and things like that, then it's a really good opportunity to do that as well.
All right, so we've solved it. Hardwood decks do win, hands down, if it's in the budget. Otherwise, alternatives are okay.
They're acceptable in my book.
Winning. Hey team, Naomi Findlay here, Australia's rapid renovation expert, and I get very excited when I get to bring to you some amazing products, and today is no different. I have one that I truly believe can cut your prep time in half. Now, you all know that preparation is one of the most important parts of renovating. If you don't prepare your floors well, if you don't prepare your walls well, whatever you put on them afterwards will not be maximizing your value. So whether it's painting out this big column here, your walls, your architrave sills, and even your windows, you need to make sure you always wash them down. For those of you who haven't seen my videos on how to prepare walls, head over and check them out, and you'll see in there that I talk about all the time the importance of sugar soaping down the surfaces, no matter what surface it is. It gets rid of all your dirt, grime, oils, grease, all of the things that just get collected over time. Now that can be a process and it is an important one to follow. And until now, my instructions would always have been to sugar soak down the walls and then rinse them off with clean water. So literally going back over them with clean, moist sponge to make sure that you get all of that sugar soap off before you continue forward. So today I am bringing to you one of the biggest time savers I have ever seen in our industry, and it is a rinse-free sugar soap. That is right, you literally can wash your walls down, walk away and come back and paint it when it's dry. There is no longer any need to be rinsing down your walls. It is a complete game changer. This literally, in regard to your wall prep, would save you at least 30% of your time. Now that is innovative.
Rolling, ready to go.
Right.
You've got 19 minutes worth of footage left.
Sweet, we can spin this for 90 minutes. I don't think we can, but we'll get out of here pretty quick. It's all right, it's good.
Hot here. I'm sweating here today. You're done. Oh. Okay. All right. Here we are for the last shoot. That. Hold on. All right, top change.
Top change.
Good job. Hardwood deck is absolutely phenomenal.
Without a doubt.
I know, it's slipped. Alright, okay. And it's a wrap!
Well done.
Hey!
I don't know if that made much.
Next time on The Reno Show, I'll reveal the 7 skills you need for renovation success. Leading real estate agent Mark Kentwell is here to help you survive an auction campaign. Rowan is back to help you set your heights and depths of your stairs well. And organisation queen Marissa is here to get you organised during a wardrobe makeover. And our expert gardener Aaron, he'll be here to show you how you can revive those dying agapanthus in your yard. Remember to like and subscribe to our channel to receive weekly renovation and lifestyle inspiration. Hey guys, have you heard about the amazing new renovation app? It is the Rapid Renomate app for your phone, for iPhones and Androids, and it has just taken renovation to a new level of ease. It can track everything from your timelines to your budget, to your paint colours, your supplies and your tradies. It has truly transformed, streamlined and made the renovation process so much easier. If you'd love to get your free app right now, click the link below and download it immediately to your iOS or your Android device. Happy renovating!